Hey guys, today we are going to watch that Houthis try to do that no other country even thinks of doing it, that they try to fight a jet. No country in this world would ever dare to do that because they know that that would declare a war. But why? I don't know why Houthis try to do it. So let's watch this.
At 5:23 p.m. local time, a U.S. Air Force F-16 from the 421st Fighter Squadron was providing top cover for a U.S. naval task force as it steamed along the coast of Yemen. While the patrol had been relatively quiet so far, this would all change in a matter of seconds.
In seconds.
Unknown to the F-16 pilot, a Houthi SA battery near Hodeidah had the aircraft in its sights and let loose a missile.
Oh my god!
Kilometer maximum
What a
effective
stupid
range
thing to do.
And a top speed of 2.8 times the speed of sound. The pilot has just seconds to react. Thankfully, the F-16 comes equipped with a variety of electronic countermeasures that turn this deadly missile into a harmless pea shooter.
Oh.
Located
But then
on the aircraft's nose is its AN/APG-83 radar, which serves as its first line of defense against the Houthi missile attack. After detecting the SA-6 at a range of 42 kilometers, the pilot began a steep dive to take the aircraft from 30,000 feet to 15,000 feet.
So does the
This
missile
maneuver
follow?
is necessary because the SA-6 can track its target. The SA-6 is what's known as a semi-active missile. This means that Houthi ground radars must illuminate the target with enough energy to create a fire control situation. Once airborne, the SA-6 receives this fire control data as it screams towards the target. Once it gets close, its internal seeker on its warhead activates to ping for the F-16 in its final few seconds of flight. By performing this steep dive, the pilot hoped to break the fire control solution of the incoming SA-6.
And did that work?
But it wasn't enough.
Oh no!
With the radar's ability to scan for fighter-sized targets with a 5-meter squared radar cross-section up to 470 kilometers, the radar was able to spot more incoming SA-6 missiles.
Oh, there were 3 missiles!
Maneuvers with just 18 seconds to react to this barrage. However, these erratic turns wreaked havoc on the radar's ability to track targets. Although the system can track up to 20 targets at once, the radar's effectiveness in seeing targets at 60 degrees off bore sight decreases to just 47%. With all the erratic turns the pilot is making, the F-16 is effectively blind to some of the incoming missiles. That's where its next system comes into play.
And that is?
If you look here at each pylon on the wings, you'll see this device. This is called the Terma Pylon Integrated Dispensing System, or PIDS, and is the next step in breaking the chain of disengagement. While each system weighs 19 kilograms and decreases each F-16 loadout by 3%, this trade-off is well worth it because of what it can do. Equipped with 6 Hensoldt AAR-60 V2 ultraviolet sensors around it, each system provides 360 degrees of spherical coverage that can detect missile launches at ranges of up to 10 kilometers. These systems can deploy infrared flares and radio frequency chaff bundles.
Wow!
When the PIDS detected the incoming
not only one, they have
SA-6
2
missiles,
radars.
it deployed 12 MJU-50B flares and 24 RR-180 chaff bundles that created a 1/2 kilometer IR RF decoy cloud. However, this was not enough to shake the lock of the incoming missiles.
Oh
so
no!
the pilot had one last option. Located
I
here
don't
on the
understand, like, why are Houthis doing it? Because I just imagine that the missile will not hit the jet. But by chance, if it would have hit the jet, then I think so US would have removed the Houthi word from the dictionary itself.
belly of the aircraft is an AN/ALQ-184 jamming pod. The pod can jam threats across a 2 to 20 gigahertz range using digital RF memory technology. This is more than enough to counter the SA-6's 6 to 8 gigahertz fire control radar. As soon as the pilot kicked this on, the pod broke the incoming missile's connection with its ground control site.
Wow!
This reduced the SA-6's accuracy by
That
70%,
is too advanced.
forcing the remaining missiles into a ballistic trajectory that flew harmlessly past the aircraft. However, despite this defeat, the Houthis were far from done
Another
today.
one?
Just 44 minutes later, at 6:07 p.m. local time, A U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone from Chabeli Airfield in Djibouti was conducting a routine reconnaissance flight about 50 miles northeast of Hodeidah. The drone was monitoring Houthi supply convoys as they reinforced enemy positions near the town when Houthi gunners, frustrated at not being able to shoot down the F-16, decided to try their luck again.
Now the drone, now they'll attack the
Although
drone.
less advanced than the F-16, its Pandora missile warning system detected another Houthi SA-6 launch. Within 0.8 seconds of detection, the Reaper ordered its AN/ALE-47 dispenser to launch countermeasures as the drone climbed above 15,000 feet
Oh,
to
wow.
keep all the incoming missiles out of the drone's 30-degree cutouts directly below the aircraft's
But how
horizon.
come Houthis have so many missiles?
As the Reaper continued to climb, its AN/ALE countermeasure system launched 8 flares in 4 seconds.
More flares.
This created a 300 square meter chaff cloud to confuse the incoming missiles. However, this system is not unlimited. With a max load of 60 MJU-60B flares and 120 RR-180 chaff bundles, this is sufficient for 12 engagements per sortie. However, once the Reaper expends 75% of this inventory, it has to abort the mission and return to base. How the operator determines whether to use these countermeasures or not is with the help of its ALR-69 radar warning receiver.
It has everything.
The
Yeah.
ALR-69 radar warning receiver can monitor frequencies from 0.5 to 20 gigahertz.
Oh, it is even better
This
than the
enables it to
F-16
detect
one.
SA-6 radar emissions at around 200 kilometers within 1 degree of azimuth accuracy. With this enabled, the Reaper can respond to Houthi missile launches within 2 seconds. Because of this, the drone operators are able to deploy enough countermeasures in time to avoid a direct hit, but the Reaper didn't make it through unscathed. After landing back at the base, maintainers discovered that several of the SA-6's
Oh, it got damaged.
12,000
Yeah.
steel pellets had punctured its right wing.
Oh my
Luckily,
god.
the drone was able to fly again
Oh no.
shortly
Now
thereafter.
revenge. Revenge.
the time
100%
for
revenge.
revenge.
Although these
Yes.
missile launches may seem routine, they were anything but. This strike was the first time the Houthis have shot at a manned aircraft in this conflict.
Directly.
How the U.S. would respond to this unprovoked attack has set new precedent in this ever-intensifying conflict. In the immediate aftermath of these attacks, both U.S. Central Command and the White House were shocked by the brazen daylight attack on U.S. forces.
How come they do it?
President Trump soon decided that nothing less than an immediate, devastating response
Whoa.
was warranted.
They're gone.
Within 8 hours of the attack, the guided missile destroyer, the USS Spruance,
Oh, no.
received orders to steam closer to the Yemeni coast.
Directly
In
they
the
sent
launch
the
box,
destroyer.
The
Yeah.
crew received encrypted launch orders from Central Command to strike. While normally Tomahawk missiles would be used for this, the Navy opted for a rather creative measure.
Which missile did they use?
Every DDG carries a mixed loadout of Tomahawks, SM-2s, ESSMs, anti-submarine rockets, and SM-6 missiles inside their VLS cells. BMD-capable ships also carry SM-3s. The reason for this party mix of missiles is so a surface ship can conduct offensive and defensive strikes against a variety of threats.
Wow.
So why the Navy chose the SM-6 is interesting because it sends a very clear message. The SM-6 is one of the Navy's most advanced air defense missiles, second only to the SM-3.
Wow.
Destroyers typically preserve these missiles for the most dangerous threats, since
Yes.
the missile can deliver
But for
a
them, Houthis were the
1,500
most
kilogram
dangerous.
explosive warhead at an impressive 3.5 times the speed of sound.
Wow.
Wow.
But while this was designed to be an air
So
defense
fast.
missile, in recent years, the Navy has repurposed it to also be a ground strike missile. While the Tomahawk has a longer range than the SM-6 at around 1,500 miles, the SM-6 is much faster. With that greater speed, it's much harder to shoot down and is an essential stopgap until the Navy strike missile comes fully online. Because of that, the Navy modified the SM-6 to operate in surface mode as
It
well.
is so fast.
However, despite
Yeah.
having this capability for years, the Navy hasn't publicly fired one of these missiles this way until now.
They never fired it before.
While the Navy
Oh my
chose
God.
the SM-6 for this is because the target they were going after was moving. According to satellite imagery, the SA-6 launcher and its accompanying IS-91 radar were still in Hodeidah. But with the launcher having a top speed of around 34 miles per hour, the launcher could be hundreds of miles away by the time the order came to strike.
Yes.
This meant time was of the essence, and there wasn't a second to spare.
So they launched
After
the
getting
fastest
the firing
missile.
order from CENTCOM, the Spruance's crew made best speed for the launch basket in the southern Red Sea. As this was going on, the combat watchstanders had less than 30 minutes to create, route, and approve a firing plan.
Oh my god,
That's
too
because a
technical.
missile doesn't just fly in a straight line. That would be incredibly easy to shoot down. Rather, the crew must prepare sometimes up to dozens of waypoints to get the missile to the first pre-planned waypoint. Once it reaches there, the classified mission library takes over and sends the missile careening towards its target.
Oh.
With a flash of light, two SM-6s roared out of the
Very
VLS cells at
fast.
approximately
Actually.
3:45 a.m. local time. With just
Wow.
several hundred miles to go, it would take roughly 6 minutes before the SM-6s reach their target. Although the Houthis have built up a robust air defense network, this meant nothing for the SM-6 as it glided effortlessly before smashing into the SA-6 launcher.
Whoa!
In the aftermath of the attack, signals collection intercepts confirmed the site's destruction along with the elimination of 8 Houthi operators. But the
Oh my
US
God.
was
They
far from being
destroyed
done.
it.
So every attack
From
was successful.
2014 to 2015,
Wow.
the Houthis captured 12 to 15 SA-6 launchers from the Yemeni government.
Oh, they captured
Over
it
the
from the
past
government.
decade, Iran has substantially assisted them in improving their radars and getting modern seekers installed on the missiles. Because of this, the Houthis now have an extensive stockpile of ordnance they have shown a willingness to use against U.S. aircraft. This could not stand. After the February 20th strike that got revenge against the individual launcher, the Navy figured it was time to give the Houthis a permanent reminder of why not to attack U.S. aircraft.
Oh no.
Yes.
Beginning at
Never
6
do that.
p.m. local time, the first of 4 waves of F-18s took off from the deck
Oh,
of the
no.
Harry S. Truman.
It's the
and
end.
these aircraft were armed with something much more powerful than normal. While a typical strike mission like this would call for a 2,000-pound JDAM or bunker buster, the Navy went hog wild on this one. The F-18s that took off that night were armed with AGM-154 joint standoff weapons.
Wow.
Wow.
The AGM-154 JSOW is a long-range air-to-surface weapon that can reach 117 to 130
You know, sometimes
kilometers
watching
if
US
launched
Army is
at
like
high
watching
altitudes.
Avengers.
With either a warhead carrying 145 bomblets or 192 pounds of
87
explosives,
kg.
this GPS-guided weapon is a long arm of the law in this region. And that is exactly what
Oh.
it was that night.
Perfect.
Between 6 p.m. and 11:30 that night, wave after wave of F-18s made attack runs on storage
For
bunkers
5
near
hours.
Sana'a. And
Straight.
if that wasn't enough, the guided missile destroyer, the USS Gravely, fired 6 Tomahawk missiles at the smoldering rubble
Whoa,
after it
they
was held
multiplied
done.
it.
Missiles,
All
jets,
told,
everything.
The U.S.
Yeah.
destroyed 14 Kaher M2 ballistic missiles, 3 more
Kaher.
SA-6 launchers, and 23 various other anti-ship cruise missiles.
Wow.
But while this strike severely degraded the Houthis' ability to launch attacks on air and ground targets, this operation has not destroyed all of their arsenal.
Oh, you think?
That will be left for another day's fight.
I thought Houthis will be seeing the end because they attacked the USA. But USA calmed down and they just attacked for 5 hours only.
Yeah.
Because they attacked with their F-18s and they attacked with their missiles one after the another, and they just crashed their whole site and all their missile launchers. But I think the Houthis knew that they might be attacked, so they might have kept their machines at a different place every time.
But I don't understand why do they initiate the fight? Like for what reason? Don't you know how powerful jets and weapons they have? This is a very stupid move.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought that there were some other like aircraft jets, or they actually knew it was USA and then they attacked, so they are properly stupid. So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
Subscribe.
bye.